Welcome back to the Today Show. I'm your host, Christopher Power, and our guest today is Action Performer of the Year and Icon Award winner, Tazito Garcia. Now, you actually work internationally as an actor, both here in Canada, Ontario, and Toronto, and internationally. What is the biggest difference you find between acting locally and acting internationally?
The workflow, I'll just leave it at that. I just really have to say it's the workflow. Meaning here you've got unions that could protect you, and you've got hours where it's kind of like, okay, well, it's been 12 hours overtime, maybe push to 16, 18. Over there, it's like, nope, 22. We still got to get it done. Still got to keep going. Plus, here, say pre-production, they got to build a set, and it'll take 2 weeks to build, or 2 months to build. Over there, they're gonna hire 2 or 3 different teams to make sure it's done within 3-4 days. And of course, sometimes you're gonna have politics where it's kind of like who built the most, or was it team 1 that established this much, and team 2, they're like, we don't care, just get it done. Right here, it's one of those things where union versus non-union, or this company's got exclusivity and that's it, nobody else could touch it, for safety, for whatever else in between that happens. Over there, it's like go, 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 make it happen now. And that's why they're really efficient. Now that I think about it, probably another one that helps them pump out a lot of content is in Asia, that is, they have in-house talent and crew. Meaning at any point in time, say they want to come up with some kind of soap opera or some kind of show, episodic, it's really easy for them. They've got their director, they've got their producer, they've got their gear, and they've got their talent that they know that's their niche or niche, and they come out and they shoot it 7 episodes, bang it out in like 2 weeks and done. Whereas here, it's more, we got to cast, we got to find the right people. Is it going to be from US, Canada, Australia, UK, that kind of thing? And it takes a while, and callbacks. And so over there, they've got it like clockwork. So those are 2 truly very different things than the West and the East.
Now, when you talk about workflow and these callbacks, we seemingly are living in a more instantaneous world. Like, you didn't like my Instagram post or my YouTube video. And when we look at the industry, there's so many unknown factors of why someone didn't get a role. And often we're never told, hey, Taz, you didn't get the role and this is why. When you look back on all the auditions that you've done and the work that you've performed, do you recall an audition that you just didn't understand why you didn't get the role, and that type of rejection? And how do you move past that as an actor?
So when you first get started in the industry, obviously you're looking at it like, okay, well, sometimes you even got to sign a contract, and for whatever unforeseen reason, something happens behind the scenes, producers or distribution or even politics. We're talking on governments and country level. So that's completely out of control. But I recall one of them where I went in for an audition, and it was for the Power Rangers, and I did really, really well. I booked the part. I had a contract signed. I had the script. Everything was good to go. And they said, we're going to fly down to New Zealand, because that's where the majority of the production was going to happen. And then we were also going to get in probably 2 or 3 weeks earlier before production would start for the toys, right? So they were going to get some headshots done, some pictures and videos and motion captures and all that for these little collectibles of toys. It was way before Funkos and all that kind of stuff they have now. But yeah, so I was like, whoa, this is amazing. This is every kid's dream. This is something that truly inspired me when I was a kid. So I'd love to be part of that inspiration journey for the next generation and so on. So everything's good to go. They asked for my passport to get me a work visa to go and work there, obviously, legally. And then 2 days later, I went to pick it up, and they're like, sorry, we had to recast you. I was like, what? They're like, yeah, we had to recast you. I was like, what are you talking about? I had the script, it's signed, everything was there. And long story short, they said I was not Black enough.
Oh.
So after quite the the back and forth, I mean, everything was so professional, but I really wanted to understand what happened, why the sudden change of heart. And that was it, literally. So one of the guys took me to the side and he said, it's just because you're not black enough. And that was the last season that they ever had where the Power Rangers, really the colors represented an ethnicity. And at the time, I don't blame them because I could get really, really dark. And it's not the first time someone's mistaken my identity or my ethnic background. So by the time I went to pick it up, I looked a few shades lighter. And I had no clue that it wasn't based on skill for acting in martial arts. It was truly the number one call was that they were representing a culture or ethnicity. And I was like, wow, deep. Okay. I didn't see that happen or coming. And that was it. Right. So that's something that happened very early. And actually that also switched my trajectory from the drama side and the comedy side, which is something that I love and something I really wanted to get into initially, to getting into action, right? Because the casting director at the time, with the director and the writer, they're like, everything we've seen you do today is something we haven't seen ever, or quite often here in Canada especially. So keep doing whatever you can possibly do physically. The acting, without the action you could do when you get older. There's no time or deadline for that. But the action, the older you get, the slower you're going to get, the more harsh the injuries are going to be. So keep doing whatever you could do now while you're still young. And it really kind of, I was like, ding, that light went on and I was like, okay, I think they're right. I think that's what I'm going to do. And that's kind of how I became known as the action guy ever since that audition. And that's that. So yeah, so something good came out of it. I always look for the good that comes out of it, and that's that. Yep.
So when we look at you being the action guy, you're actually working on a project, or recently worked on a project called Extraction. This is where you get to be the action guy again.
So funny story with that is it's a film that's starring Jackie Chan and originally Sylvester Stallone, and then they went a little past the deadline of getting started because of weather complications, and then John Cena stepped up instead of Stallone, so now it's Jackie Chan and Cena. And originally they cast me as the rebel leader, so I was going to be. So my boss in the movie is Pilo Asbeck, who plays Euron in Game of Thrones, and he's kind of their kryptonite. He's kind of like the antagonist, and I play his muscle. But originally they cast me as a rebel leader. Everything's good. Booked my tickets. 17 hours before I fly out, they're like, "We've got a problem." I was like, "Why? Why? What is it? What is it with these last minute problems?" No. So they're like, "Well, director loves you. He still wants to use you, but he thinks you look a little too young." I was like, "Dude, we've been going back and forth for 2 months. What are you talking about? What? Suddenly I aged? Uh, backwards, that is." And so they're like, okay, we're going to have to come up with a new character. And they came up with this character called Paddock's Mercenary. So I'm basically his muscle in the movie. They're like, well, it's fewer lines, but you get to fight Jackie Chan and John Cena. I was like, done. Screw my lines. I'll do it. So yes, it is an action role. But the funny thing is, when I got there, they were like, hold on, you're an actor. Stay in your trailer. We're going to get your stunt double. I was like, hell no, get away from there. I was like, no, get out of here.
The action guy for a reason. You can't have a
I was
stunt
like,
double and
no,
still be
no,
the
no.
action
It's
guy.
really, really funny. Hilarious, man. It was really, really good time. So yeah, that's like I said, this was due to come out in 2020. And because of complications with the pandemic and COVID and all that kind of fun stuff, it pushed all the dates back. And then politics got in the way between the countries. So who knows what's going to happen, if it's going to see day of light. But word is it's going to come out streaming hopefully end of this year. So, but like I said, I'm just like you. I'm like, yeah, we shot it great times. I got a stack upon stacks of pictures that I can't share. So fun times. Yeah.
You know, you got to keep me in the loop when you get information about that one coming out.
The second I do, trust me, you're going to be the first to know.
Well, I'm on the list for sure.
It's crazy.
Listen, we got to take a quick break, and we'll be